Hey everybody, Jess here, Key Tarot. Welcome, welcome. This is a real quick general reading. Let's say a blessing and we'll get rolling, all right? Holy Spirit, thank you for being with us here today and in every single breath that we take. We ask that these messages be received by those who are meant to hear them. Amen. All right, I'm going to start with this Tarot of Wonderland. See how you guys are doing out there today. Okay. Alrighty, I got the Death card coming out on its side with that King of Wands energy and this Three of Cups. So I feel like somebody's trying to decide what they want to do. Right now they're not talking to somebody. It feels like you may be at a distance from someone. Things are changing rapidly in this relationship. A little bit more here. Yeah. You're going to be in constant communication with this person. I have the Eight of Wands as well as the Lovers card that comes out here. So we have a real choice to make when it comes to a love relationship here. I just saw 111 on the counter. Not only do you have that Death card, that's Scorpionic energy, but you also have this Tower card, also Scorpio energy. With that Wheel of Fortune, it feels like something's shifting, something's changing a lot very quickly. I'm going to use this Chicoli deck to clarify here. Fair enough. Yeah, this is like a very on again, off again relationship, a lot of ups and downs. Could be, you could be contemplating a divorce. With that 10 of Swords, that's the minor arcana of the Death card, and that was your first card out. Some of you have moved out of like a residence, a home that you shared with this person. Some of you are just visiting family, visiting friends. I can see that at one point the two of you did go together and there was some kind of a marriage situation. I've got the 10 of Cups there, which is a card of marriage. It's a card of family. It can be sharing a household, something like that, just like we were talking about. And I have that 10 of Wands right there. So I've got 10, 10, 10. And the Wheel of Fortune's also 10. So 10s are cycles of completion. And it feels like this is a moment, especially with that Tower card, where you say, well, we can't keep on doing what we're doing, so we have to make a decision to do something else. You could have addiction issues in this relationship, also dishonesty issues in this relationship. It feels like... I don't know, because somebody here is hoping for a reconciliation with that Three of Cups. I don't know if it's you or this other person. Let me find out. Let me just give this one more shuffle real quick. Yeah, it feels like there's a lot of arguing here. I got a lot of 10s. I got a lot of 7s out here. Okay, let's see. And I've got the Death card out here again. That was your first card out from the first deck, and this is your first card out since I shuffled this deck. So something to that Scorpionic energy, but it also can just indicate a real ending to something here, a finite ending. That Death card, there's not really any coming back from it. Whereas that 10 of Swords is more of like this roller coaster ride of a relationship where you're in, you're out, you maybe give it another try because, you know, 9 stabs wasn't good enough. One more, let's do it, right? You may be the one that's hoping for a reconciliation and a do-over here. And there is the Four of Swords again, where we have somebody taking a break and somebody who's saying, I just need time away from this, you know, to kind of get my head on straight, to kind of think about what I want to do. Let's take a rest here. I feel, quite honestly, the two of you are going to be better off letting one another go. This Eight of Cups, this is walking away from something that's not good for you any longer. And you can see by this depiction, everyone's going to be better off if we let each other go here. You see? But someone here is like bound and determined to work on this and to start over. So I don't know if that's you or if the other person in this dynamic is feeling that way. You'll have to decide which side of the coin you're on here, which side of the story belongs to you. I do see that this is a relationship with a lot of physical attraction to it. Again, with that King and Queen of Wands. I mean, we're talking about very attractive individuals that come together here that were a couple, they were a pair. At one point, it was kind of a match made in heaven, but something has gotten the better of this situation. What is this devil and this Seven of Swords? Because that Seven of Swords is someone who doesn't tell the truth about things, and that devil just indicates a lot of toxicity here. And I wonder, well, because yeah, this is somebody says, I just can't let you go. You could be very close to this person. Like you could be very emotionally attached to one another, because you can see with this Five of Cups right here, it's like you're two parts of the same. And I mean, nobody's like part of the same, like, you know what I mean? It's not like you guys are the same person, but I think that you spend enough time together that you're really quite attached to one another. I'm sorry, my phone keeps dinging. All right. Something's happening right now in this dynamic. I think this is the month that we have the biggest shift, this Leo time. I think that you need to give yourself a couple more weeks to really decide how you feel about this. There's that King of Wands again. And there's the Three of Cups again. Wow. So check this out. We've got the King of Wands twice. I've got the Four of Swords twice. I have the Three of Cups twice. I have the Death card twice. I mean, that's still quite a few repeats just for this short amount of time, you know. And that tells me that the energies that are most important part of your story are recognizing that this ending, whatever choice you make here, things can't go back to the way that they were, and it will be a final decision here. I feel like you're making this decision this month. You know, you've got 3 8s in here as well. Lots of 10s, lots of 7s, lots of 8s. Yeah. There's this reconciliation is still on the table here. And I think both of you would like it to come back together. But kids, there's something wrong with this relationship here. That's why I'm saying I feel like you're both going to be better off without one another. What exactly is this Devil card here? What's that even about? I'll switch back to the Tarot of Wonderland to find out. Okay, fair enough. Okay, so we have this Moon card and this Ace of Wands that goes together. I just saw 747 on the counter, maybe of significance to someone. That moon is Cancerian energy, but it can represent mental health issues. It can represent things that we just suppress and suppress and suppress until they bubble up to the surface and we can't hold them down any longer. The moon is sometimes we think of the word lunacy because it has the word Luna in it, which relates to the moon. That's where we get that from. It's like almost a madness in this person. And with that Ace of Wands right there, this is someone who has the potential to create a lot of drama, stress, anxiety, in this relationship, especially. What is it that they don't tell the truth about here? Because that Seven of Swords, that's someone who's like a very sneaky individual, someone who, it's almost like they say something and then the very next day you find out that it was completely untrue. It could be something little, it could be something big. Hold on one second. Ooh. Okay, that's fair. So I have a few cards that flew out here, as you can see. This person may not tell the truth about how much they're drinking at night or in the daytime. This person may not feel comfortable with their own anxiety. This person may need to get some treatment or some help for some of their emotional struggles. This person may really struggle sleeping at night. That could be why we have the over drinking issue here. Maybe that's like a crutch that they use to sleep at night. This person's very manipulative, and I think they have, so somebody in this connection is very manipulative. I don't know if it's one of you or both of you or what, but this person will basically tell you everything that you want to hear in order to get you back into their lives. Like, promise you everything they can think of. Say the kindest words. This Knight of Cups is like my Romeo card. And this Ace of Pentacles it can represent an engagement ring. It can represent a solid new beginning or a solid new offer. And typically, it's a really great card. It's one of the best cards you can get in any reading for any reason. But somehow with this combination here, I feel like you're being told one thing, but it's not entirely true. I feel like this person wishes that they could give you everything. This person wishes they could be the person that you want them to be, but for whatever reason, possibly mental health issues, possibly some addiction issues here, it's really not a possibility for them. But they will try and use every tool that they have at their disposal in order to manipulate you into believing what they say. We've already decided, I just saw 1111 on the counter. We've already decided that this person is probably not to be trusted. And it sounds like it's little things, it's big things, things that don't even make sense to not tell the truth about, you know? Yeah. And again, there seems to be a lot of arguing, and quite honestly, it feels like you don't want the same things. I have on one hand one person who is very independent, very single, very on their own, and someone who wants to leave. And then I have another person who's kind of clinging to this relationship, clinging to this other person here. So one person in this dynamic spends a lot of time around other people, and then there's another person in this dynamic who's very solitary, is how it feels. So you may have a real energy of codependency here, which is what we talk about all the time when it comes to the Devil card, right? It's Capricorn energy. However, it's the things that we choose to chain ourselves to, you know. There's 1212 on the counter. It's like, I mean, do you really want to be a part of that? Because one of you doesn't want it. One of you did the walking away. All right, let's go back here and talk about this Wheel of Fortune. You could have Sagittarius very heavily in your chart. There's the the Eight of Wands again. That's that fast-moving communication where I said you're going to be spending a lot of time either text messaging or phone calls with this person trying to sort this situation out, because it does feel fairly serious. And I can see that people have their feelings hurt here very much. So if this is happening to you, I'm really sorry about this. It feels like a breakup energy. And I've been hearing a lot about this, especially during this Venus retrograde. People going through a lot of really challenging endings. Very difficult time for a lot of people, particularly those of you who may have started new relationships during a Mercury retrograde. And I remember doing a reading where I said, you know, normally I wouldn't advise people to get together during a Mercury retrograde, but I remember doing one reading where I said, but you know, I feel good about this one. So I don't know if this is a new relationship, because it does feel like it involves either a household or a marriage or a long-term commitment, an engagement, something like that. So I don't know how long the two of you have known each other or been together, but there's definitely a shift that's happening here. On one hand, we've got one person who feels much more balanced outside of the relationship, and on the other hand, we have someone who feels lost without the relationship. Again, that energy of codependency. That can be a part of addiction. It can be a part of childhood trauma as well. And like I said, there's one person here who has more of a social life than the other one. I assume it's the one that is kind of on their own, the one that's kind of lonely, who's really struggling in this relationship. It feels like the other one of you is doing quite well and just going out and about and doing your work, your job, meeting with friends, family, co-workers, whatever. Okay. And I have the Ace of Wands again. I would say that the biggest thing that keeps the two of you together at all is just a tremendous amount of physical attraction, sexual attraction towards one another. But I feel like the two of you don't really go together. Like on one hand, yes, you do. but there's something very different about the two of you. One of these individuals here is very stubborn and very strong-willed, and it seems like they can do a lot of damage really quickly, either with their words, with their physical selves. I hope not, but it's possible. There's a lot of combativeness here, where one person feels like they're always having to stand up for themselves, defend themselves, and then one person who's kind of like the bull in the china shop, you know, there's like can just come in and destroy something very quickly. It also feels like one of you are more financially adept than the other, or financially well off, or more financially comfortable than the other. One individual here, you're probably like a personal business owner. With that Nine of Pentacles, that's the minor arcana of the Empress, but that's usually someone who's in business for themselves. One of you may be self-employed. There it is. Yeah, and the Nine of Swords again. I feel like one of you says, I just don't want to fight these fights anymore. I don't want this anxiety any longer. I've had this Nine of Swords out here twice in the reverse, both times. This is somebody who says, I just don't want to live this nightmare any longer. Like, for one individual here, this has been a real nightmare. I think the other person is not even aware of how much stress this has been for the other person. And I think one of you in this dynamic is saying, if we could just wait a little bit longer, think about this a little bit more. But again, with the Seven of Wands again, and there's the Ace of Pentacles again, and there's the Six of Swords again. I mean, your choices are to commit or to move on, you know, and there's the Nine of Cups again. You may be dealing with an Aquarius here. Somebody says, I want to marry you. I want to commit here. The other person says, I want to leave and run far, far away. And one person is begging you to stay and also begging you to reconsider. But the other person is saying, this is too chaotic, this is too stressful. I just saw 1717 on the counter. This is too stressful, this is too combative. I can't stay here like this. Golly. Well, I honestly think go ahead and take some time and really block out the noises of other people who are trying to, you know, place their opinions on this relationship, their thoughts, their wants for you. And some of them will have really good intentions, and some of them just really don't need to be involved in your business. You're smart and you can figure out what it is you want to do here. I would just encourage you to take a little bit of time and think about it here. Again, if this is your story, you're not alone. A lot of people are experiencing this right now, so don't sweat it. It'll be okay. I just encourage you to remember, if this reading resonates for you, bookmark it, share it, whatever you need to do to find it again. And then at the end of Leo season, come back and re-examine how you're feeling, and then decide, am I going to stay? Am I going to go? Because this feels like a very serious commitment if you do choose to stay, where it can be recommitting to a marriage, whether it's choosing to get married or move in with this person, because I have that here as well. And look, we have that Knight of Cups again, that Romeo card again. This is not something that anyone other than your own self can really advise you about. And like I said, you're smart. You're going to make the right decision for yourself, all right? Do not forget to like and subscribe if you are so inclined. If you want to book a personal reading with me, that is totally possible. Just look in the About section of our channel here, and all that information as to how to contact me is in that section. All right, I love you all very much, and thank you for letting me read your cards today. Have a good one.